The sun rises over the vast African savanna, its golden light spilling across a land alive with both promise and peril. A small band of early hominins, Australopithecus, move cautiously through the tall grass, their movements tense and solitary. There is no circle of shared purpose here, no mutual watchfulness. Each individual is bound only to their own hunger, their own survival. What if humanity never learned to cooperate? What kind of world would unfold if every step forward was taken alone? If survival was only ever a solitary endeavor? One female crouches near a patch of roots, tugging them free with her bare hands. She does not signal to others. Her eyes flick nervously to the horizon, scanning for predators. Just beyond her, a young male attempts to climb a tree for fruit, but the branch snaps, sending him tumbling to the ground. His cry echoes across the plains, but no one comes to his aid. The others continue in silence, their faces turned away, unwilling to risk their own safety. This is survival stripped of unity, where instinct tells them that to help is to weaken oneself. The savanna stirs with danger. A shadow glides low, an eagle circles overhead. It watches the small band scatter, each member drifting further apart, vulnerable. Without numbers, each hominin is exposed, and predators sense it. A rustle in the tall grass betrays the movement of a lioness, her eyes fixed on the smallest of the group. The child wanders alone, struggling to keep up. In a world without cooperation, there is no hand to guide, no arm to carry. The lioness pounces swift and merciless. The scream splits the air, but the rest only flee faster, driven by fear and isolation. As dusk approaches, hunger gnaws at them. One male crouches by a fallen log, prying at beetles with a sharp stone. His discovery might have been shared, might have sustained many, but here it sustains only him. He eats quickly, glancing left and right, knowing that if another sees it could spark aggression. Nearby, two females find themselves reaching for the same cluster of berries. Their eyes lock, bodies tense. In a flurry of claws and teeth, they fight, scattering the fruit into the dirt. Both limp away, bleeding and hungry, neither victorious. The storm arrives with little warning. Dark clouds roll in wind, tearing across the grassland. Alone, each Australopithecus scrambles for shelter. One hides beneath a rock outcrop, another in the crook of a tree. Rain lashes down, lightning splits the sky. Where cooperation might have brought shared warmth, pooled resources, or the comfort of many bodies huddled together, here there is only cold and shivering isolation. Some press leaves against their skin, trying to shield themselves from the water. Others curl into themselves, enduring. Night falls. The savanna becomes a place of whispers and glowing eyes. Hyenas laugh in the distance, their calls growing closer. One male sits clutching a stone, his ears straining, his heart pounding. He cannot see the others. They are scattered, invisible in the dark. He is alone, as they all are. The hyenas move in with eerie precision, circling their yellow eyes, reflecting fireless darkness. One Australopithecus stumbles as he flees, cutting his foot on jagged stone. He limps toward a nearby tree, but the branches are too high. His cries echo into the night, yet no one comes. The others remain hidden, each clutching at silence, hoping the predator will choose someone else. The hyenas descend. A chorus of snarls, bone crunching, and silence follows. By dawn, there is nothing left but scattered tracks and the faint scent of fear on the wind. Morning breaks with fragile stillness. The surviving hominins drift separately across the plain, exhaustion etched into their faces. A female carries a gourd-like fruit filled with water in her hands, careful not to spill a drop. She moves away from the others, unwilling to share. Dehydration drives each member to search in isolation, their movements desperate. Without cooperation, there is no communal knowledge of rivers, no guiding hand for the weak. Those who stumble are left behind, swallowed by the endless grass. By midday, the heat becomes punishing. One male, gaunt and trembling, collapses under the weight of the sun. He lies sprawled in the dirt, breath shallow. Flies gather. A stronger individual passes by, glances at him briefly, and continues on. In a world without cooperation, compassion is weakness, and weakness is death. Slowly, the stillness of the fallen becomes permanent. Another body abandoned to the dust. Far to the west, a rival band of Australopithecus emerges. Their numbers are few, their movements scattered, like the first group. But in the overlap of territories, danger brews. The two bands meet at a watering hole, eyes narrowing, muscles tense. The pool is shallow, muddied by hippo tracks. One male approaches first, cupping the water with his hands. Another darts forward, shoving him aside. A clash erupts, a tangle of fists, teeth, and guttural roars. Mud splashes, water spills, and the fragile resource is lost to violence. Where cooperation might have offered survival, conflict ensures hunger and thirst. The weaker ones back away, leaving the stronger to fight. But even the strongest emerge bloodied, bruised, and no richer than before. Evening returns, and with it comes another predator. A leopard, silent and patient, creeps through the tall grass. Alone separated, the Australopithecus have no circle of watchful eyes to sound alarm. The leopard strikes without warning, dragging a young male into the brush. His screams rise, then cut short. The others scatter, running blindly into the night, each one alone. Each one terrified. Yet amid this chaos, a spark of resilience flickers. A female sits alone in a shallow cave, clutching a jagged stone. She chips away at it, striking rhythm against rock. Splinters fall, edges sharpen. She slices through sinew, preparing meat she scavenged earlier. Though she works for herself alone, the act itself hints at something more. The potential of tools, the first step toward shaping a hostile world. But without cooperation, even this discovery risks fading into silence, lost when she dies, unshared, unremembered. The cycle of isolation grinds on life, measured not in generations of progress, but in fleeting moments of survival. The third night arrives, heavy with tension, the sky thick with storm clouds once more. Lightning cracks across the horizon, revealing scattered figures of Australopithecus, each one shivering in solitude. The savanna is no longer merely dangerous, it is merciless. Every rustle in the grass feels like death waiting. Every shadow hides a predator. Yet still, no one moves closer to another. Instinct binds them in separation, as though invisible walls stand between each heart. A sudden roar splits the night. A lion charges from the darkness, its golden mane illuminated by lightning. Panic erupts. Each hominin bolts in a different direction, scattering like sparks in the wind. One female slips and falls into the mud, the lion lunging toward her. Her eyes widen, terror freezing her body. But then, something unexpected. A male nearby, also running for his life, pauses. His gaze locks on her. For a brief heartbeat, instinct battles against something deeper, something unspoken. He hurls a stone at the lion. It strikes the predator's flank, not enough to wound, but enough to distract. The lion hesitates, snarling, and she scrambles to her feet. The moment passes quickly. The male vanishes into the tall grass, and the female flees in another direction. But the seed has been planted, survival for the first time, touched by an act beyond the self. Dawn returns, painting the plains in hues of orange and gold. Scattered and weary, a few survivors converge on a riverbank. Not by choice, but by necessity. Their bodies are weak hunger, gnawing at them, thirst driving them forward. They sit near the water silent. A female pulls out a piece of scavenged meat, gnaws at it, then glances at another smaller figure shivering beside her. For the first time, she pushes the meat toward the other. A hesitant exchange, clumsy, uncertain, but it happens. The savanna remains dangerous. The predators remain relentless. And yet, in that fragile moment, a new possibility flickers across the endless horizon. If survival is to stretch beyond a single day, beyond a single body, perhaps it cannot remain only solitary. Perhaps there must be more. And so the myth of humanity's future lingers in the air, not written in words, not yet carved in stone, but whispered in gestures, in instincts, bending towards something new. The first fragile spark of cooperation, fragile and small, waits to ignite. It is not yet victory, but it is the possibility of becoming more than scattered shadows in the grass.